Hi, my name is Liu Jihao from SE22.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Elifriani Al-Azmi.
Assalamualaikum, Tajahawanaikum. I'm Nur Hakimah Abu.
Hi, I'm Eva Amanda.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Aziz Jarul from HE22.
I came from HE19.
Senghi Nanjie from HE22.
Hi, I'm Azrina Azmi.
Okay, today we are going to present our assignment through this video. We have been given the assignment task that talk about moles facing meltdown as glut continues. This assignment consists of three parts, which is part A, the definition of glut, part B, the factor that cause glut, and part C, the concept of invisible hand. So I'm going to start the first part, which is the definition of glut. Okay, let's start with the definition of glut. In the term of economy, glut is basically when a supply of something that is much greater than can be sold or is needed or wanted. In other words, glut can be also known as oversupply, surplus, overproduction, and so on. Look at these pictures. These are what happens with the shopping malls around us nowadays. When the glut happened, most of the shopping malls were empty and facing the crisis of closing down. Let's look at this curve. This is the curve about the glut of shopping mall. For example, when the run of shop in the shopping mall rises from P0 to P1, the quantity supplied is likely to increase and quantity demanded is likely to decrease until an equilibrium is reached where quantity supplied and quantity demanded are equal at the point E0. Oversupply happens when quantity supplied exceeds quantity demanded at the current rent of the shop in the shopping mall. The price of rent tends to fall. In other words, when price for rent falls, the quantity supplied is likely to decrease and quantity demanded is likely to increase until an equilibrium is reached where quantity supplied and quantity demanded are equal at the point E0. I think that's all from me about the definition of glut. My friends will continue about what is the factor that cause glut next. Thank you.
Based on the article, malls facing meltdown as a glut continues, there are a few that cause this to happen. First factor that cause this issue is cost of production. When a seller rent a premise or store for their business, there will be a cost of production. For example, the seller will bear a cost of production such as store's rent and employer's salary. This will cause the business owner to not rent and find another alternative to sell their products. Then the demand for the rentable store will be decreased. In relation to that, the supply for rentable store will cost more, which will cause oversupply. Okay, refer to the graph. The demand curve for the rentable store will decrease, and that makes the demand curve shift to left from DO to D1, and quantity of demand will be decreased from QO to Q1. So if the seller doesn't set a new equilibrium, there may be an oversupply of rentable store. So the seller should lower the price to meet the new equilibrium of the price.
This is because nowadays technology enhancement, especially the use of applications like WhatsApp, Instagram, Lazada, and Shopee, help us to ease our daily life in communicating. It also helps the seller to sell their product without any limitation. They don't have to rent the shop to sell their product. This will cause the demand of rental shops to decrease, and relatively the supplies of the rental shop will exceed its demand, and this will lead to oversupply. This will cause the demand of the rental shop to decrease, and relatively the supplies of the rental shop will exceed its demands. and this will lead to oversupply. As we can see to the fixed price, when demand curve shift to the left, an oversupply will occur. So the price have to lower to achieve a new point of equilibrium and help seller within their market to online and offline.
Next, our point is government policy. Government create the rules and frameworks in which businesses are able to compete against each other. From time to time, the government will change these rules and framework, forcing businesses to change the way they operate. It is the authorizations to start a business issued by the local government. Business is thus keenly affected by government policy. One of the key areas of government policy that affect businesses are taxation policy. Taxation policies affect business costs. For example, a rise in corporation tax on business profits has the time effect as an increase in costs. Businesses can pass some of this tax to consumers in higher prices, but it will also affect the bottom line. Based on the graph, when the government increases the tax, the demand curve for the rentable store will shift to the left from DO to D1. Quantity demand will be decreasing from QO to Q1. So, when the government increases the tax, then the price of the service of the good will increase all above equilibrium and thus cause oversupply.
Another factor of glut is competition. Malls that have been long in the market are more popular and attractive for many customers to visit. While for those malls who just built and try to enter the market, it's quite hard for them to compete with other malls. Based on an article given, there are 5 famous malls in Kuala Lumpur, which is Suryaka LCC, Pavilion, Mid Valley, Sunway Pyramid, and Panutama. Customer is more familiar with this mall. When they want to buy something, they will choose between these 5 malls to buy what they want. In other words, we can say that these 5 malls is already conquer the market. That's why a new mall is hard to compete with them. Seller will think if they want to run a shop inside a new shopping mall, they will facing with a lack of customer. So, seller will choose to not run a shop inside a new shopping mall. That will cause demand of shop inside a new shopping mall will decrease. When demand decrease, relatively, supply of shop inside a shopping mall is higher, and growth happen. For the curve, demand curve will move from D0 to D1, and oversupply happen between point A to E0.
The fifth point I was talking about as the glut happened for the mall facing fell down is development. In this development point, I was talking about unplanned development and expectation in the future. For unplanned development, the boss of the company only care about the profit without caring about what happened to the surrounding, such as deforestation. And they only think about short-term result without caring what happening in the upcoming year, such as they pick a strategic location, but they didn't think about what to do so that the place has the potential in the future. The boss of the shopping mall only built the mall without gathering the information of the marketplace, such as the place can attract customer or the investor or not, and the potential in the future whether the place can grow even farther and longer. As the article that shown in the Borneo Post Online, we can see that glut happened in the retail space in Kuching. As what the graph shows, the occupation rate is lower than the retail space that given. This is because the retail space was abandoned by many malls because of no people are going to take in charge of that mall or the retail space. In the future, the people who build the mall will think that many customers will visit the mall after it will open. But in reality, the mall will be visited by the customer in the first month, and there will be less and lesser customer will visit the place throughout the year, and traffic jam will happen in those places which are crowded with people. For this development, there will be a graph. For this graph, we can see that the S0 will move toward the right to become the S1, and the point that EO to the A is oversupplied, which means that more retail space is given but low occupancy rate.
I will proceed to the last factor that cause the glut in the shopping malls. The factor that is consumer behavior. The psychology is one of the consumer behavior that will determine whether the consumer will buy things or product in the shopping malls. Let's say some of the consumer might think that they are too lazy and they will probably choose to do the online shopping, and this will make the many of the product or things that will not be sold in the shopping mall. Next is the prefer the lower price or the cheaper price of the product that sold in the shopping mall. As the consumer, they are definitely choose the lower price of the product and the more quantity, and the higher price of the product will left more in the shopping mall, and this will cause the glut in the shopping mall nowadays. Thank you.
Let's move on to invisible hand. A philosopher and political economist, Adam Smith, wrote The Wealth of Nations in 1776. He introduced so many concepts that now become centers of economics. He was born in Scotland, Cape Colby, in 1723. He was one of the greatest thinkers of the history of economics and now principally known as the father of economics. One of the concepts that he mentions was invisible hand. Invisible hand is an observable market force that helps demand and supply of goods at the free market to reach equilibrium automatically. Adam Smith tried to imply that the market economic actually does things automatically. We can say that the government have nothing to do with the market system. He explained that the economic will work better if the government will leave people alone to buy and sell things freely among themselves. The seller will compete with each other and try to attract customers to buy their product. The customer will choose the best seller that giving them the lowest price and satisfies their needs. In this case, if the seller put lower price or sell good with better quality would be successful. Therefore, the seller need to lower their price or offer something better than their competitor to attract the customer.
As a conclusion, glut in some products or services is one of the most serious problems to our economic system nowadays. If the problem cannot be solved or reduced, there are more buildings would be abandoned and empty, which will be also causing a lot of wastage of resources. Besides that, our economy would be seriously affected and do not grow well. I think that's all from all of us. Thanks for watching. Bye.